There's a frustrating paradox in manifestation, one that confuses people and keeps them stuck despite their best efforts. You're told to focus on what you want, visualize it, feel it, as if it's already yours. And then, somehow, you're supposed to let it go. But how does that even work? How do you deeply desire something while simultaneously being okay with not having it? It sounds contradictory, almost impossible. And yet, this single misunderstanding is what keeps most people from seeing their manifestations come to life. Think about it. Have you ever wanted something so badly, whether it was love, success, financial freedom, that you obsessed over it? You did the affirmations, the scripting, the visualization. You followed every step, hoping the universe would finally get the message. But instead of bringing it closer, it felt like the more you tried, the further it slipped away. It's like trying to hold on to water with a clenched fist. The tighter your grip, the less you actually hold. That's because wanting something is very different from allowing something. When you want, there's tension. There's a feeling of lack, an underlying desperation that says, I don't have this and I need it. But when you allow, there's ease. There's a quiet knowing that says, I trust that it's coming and I don't have to force it. This shift in energy makes all the difference. There's a story from Zen philosophy that illustrates this beautifully. A student once asked his master, how do I attain enlightenment? The master replied, have you ever tried to sleep? But the more you tried, the harder it became? The student nodded. That's your mind getting in the way, the master said. Now, think about the nights you fell asleep effortlessly. It happened because you let go. You trusted the process instead of trying to control it. Manifestation works the same way. The more you try, the more resistance you create. The more you obsess over something, the more you signal to the universe that you don't have it. And that energy of lack keeps it away. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about releasing the resistance that blocks what you desire from reaching you. The problem is, most people confuse letting go with not caring, but detachment isn't the same as indifference. When you let go, you're not saying, I don't care if this happens or not. You're saying, I trust that it's already on its way, so I don't need to stress about it. This is where the real power lies. A powerful way to embody this shift is by looking at areas of your life where things have effortlessly fallen into place. Maybe you met someone at exactly the right time, or an opportunity appeared when you weren't looking for it. These moments happen when you're in a state of openness rather than control. You weren't forcing anything, you were simply available for it. But how do you practice this consciously? How do you cultivate an energy of trust when the thing you want still hasn't shown up? That's what we're about to dive into next. The key to truly letting go in manifestation is shifting from attachment to trust. But trust doesn't come naturally when you're worried about whether or not something will happen. That's why most people get stuck. They believe that if they stop focusing on their desire, it will slip away. In reality, the opposite is true. The universe works with flow, not force. And when you shift into trust, you remove the very resistance that was blocking your manifestation in the first place. To understand this, imagine a farmer planting seeds. After placing them in the soil, he doesn't stand over them anxiously, demanding that they grow. He doesn't dig them up every few hours to check if they're sprouting. He simply waters them, makes sure they have sunlight, and then allows the natural process to unfold. He trusts that the seeds will grow, even though he can't see what's happening beneath the surface. Manifestation follows the same principle. When you obsess over whether something is happening, you disrupt the natural flow. You send mixed signals. One moment you trust, the next you doubt. And just like the farmer who constantly digs up his seeds, you prevent your desires from taking root. So how do you break this cycle? How do you move from obsession to trust? One powerful method is detached action. This means continuing to take inspired steps toward your goal without being emotionally dependent on the outcome. It's the difference between working on your dreams because you love the process versus working on them because you're desperate for a result. Think of it like this. Have you ever noticed that the things you don't care about too much seem to come easily? Maybe it's the job you applied for without overthinking, or the relationship that developed naturally when you weren't looking. That's because your energy was open. You weren't grasping, you weren't in scarcity, you were simply allowing. To cultivate this mindset, start practicing letting go rituals. These are small but powerful habits that reinforce trust and surrender. One simple exercise is the burning release. Write down your desire, pour all your hopes and emotions into it, then burn the paper safely as a symbolic act of releasing control. This tells your subconscious that you trust the process, allowing you to shift from attachment to flow. Another technique is gratitude pre-living. Instead of focusing on what you lack, act as if your manifestation has already happened and give thanks for it. For example, if you're manifesting financial abundance, say, "I am so grateful for the financial freedom that allows me to live with ease." This rewires your brain to focus on having rather than wanting, aligning your energy with the outcome you desire. But the most powerful shift of all is self-worth. When you believe you are already complete, you stop looking for external things to validate you. You stop thinking, "I'll be happy when I have this." Instead, you realize, "I am already whole, and everything else is a bonus." This energy is magnetic. When you no longer need something, you create space for it to come naturally. Detachment doesn't mean doing nothing. It means aligning with the belief that what you want is already yours. When you live in this state, you not only manifest more effortlessly, but you also experience a deeper sense of peace and freedom. And isn't that what you truly want? Not just the thing itself, but the feeling it will bring. That's the secret to manifestation that most people overlook. But there's still one crucial piece left. How do you keep this mindset in place when doubts creep in? How do you stay in alignment when life doesn't go as planned? Let's dive into that next. Even when you understand the importance of letting go, doubt has a way of creeping back in. Maybe days or weeks pass, and you don't see any movement toward your manifestation. You start questioning whether this process even works. This is where most people sabotage themselves. They let impatience turn into fear, and fear turns into resistance. But here's something powerful to remember. Manifestation doesn't work on your timeline. It works on alignment. Your job isn't to control when it happens, but to stay in the energy of trust long enough for it to unfold. And trust isn't just a thought, it's a practice. One of the best ways to maintain trust is by shifting your focus to what's already working. Instead of obsessing over what hasn't happened yet, notice the small signs that are showing up. Maybe you meet someone who gives you valuable insight, or you receive unexpected support in a way that nudges you closer to your goal. These aren't coincidences. They're evidence that the universe is listening. When you acknowledge them, you strengthen your belief, and that belief speeds up the process. But what about the times when absolutely nothing seems to be happening? This is when most people give up. They assume their manifestation isn't working and return to old patterns of doubt and desperation. But this is the test. Silence doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means things are aligning behind the scenes. Think of bamboo. When a bamboo seed is planted, nothing visible happens for years. It stays underground, developing a deep root system. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, it shoots up and grows several feet in weeks. That's exactly how manifestation works. The moment before your breakthrough often feels like nothing is happening, but that's because the foundation is being built in ways you can't yet see. So instead of giving up, this is the time to double down on trust. Reconnect with the feeling of already having what you desire. Return to your gratitude practice. Keep taking inspired action, not from a place of forcing, but from a place of flow, and most importantly, Detach from the outcome by shifting your perspective. Instead of seeing your manifestation as something you need, see it as something that would simply enhance the beautiful life you already have. When you do this, you move from desperation to confidence. You stop waiting for happiness and start embodying it now. This is where true power lies, not in controlling outcomes, but in trusting the process. When you master this, you not only become better at manifestation, but you also find peace in the present. And ironically, it's in this state of peace that things finally start falling into place. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. The power of letting go is life-changing. When you understand it, you stop chasing and start receiving, and that's when the magic happens.